Good morning/afternoon, everyone. There comes a time in every journey when we feel stuck, when the energy fades and the vision blurs. It's as if the momentum we once had suddenly vanishes, leaving us questioning our next step. But what if I told you that in these moments of stillness, there's an incredible opportunity, an opportunity to reset, restart, and refocus? When we find ourselves off track or facing obstacles, the first thing we must do is reconnect with our purpose. Purpose is the bedrock on which everything else is built. It's what drives us forward when things get difficult, what keeps us steady when the path is unclear. But often in the hustle of life, we lose sight of it. We get caught up in the tasks and the noise, and we forget why we started in the first place. Reconnecting with our purpose isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for growth. It acts as a guiding star, providing clarity and direction. It's easy to drift, especially when the challenges seem overwhelming. But when we can tap into that deeper reason for doing what we do, it brings a renewed sense of meaning to our actions. Purpose doesn't just give us direction. It fuels our perseverance, especially when the going gets tough. In moments of doubt, when we question whether the journey is worth it, our purpose becomes the foundation that holds us steady. It reminds us that every step, no matter how small, is moving us closer to something greater than ourselves. Our purpose connects us to a bigger picture, one that transcends immediate obstacles and temporary setbacks. The clarity purpose provides allows us to set priorities that are aligned with our values. It helps us recognize what truly matters and what doesn't. When we're aligned with our purpose, distractions fade away and our focus sharpens. It's no longer about chasing every opportunity or reacting to every situation. It's about staying true to the path that reflects our deeper calling. Purpose also gives us resilience. It's the internal compass that keeps us grounded when external circumstances are unpredictable. The world may shift around us and things may change unexpectedly, but our purpose remains constant. It's the anchor that keeps us from being tossed around by the waves of uncertainty. So when the going gets tough or when we feel lost, we must pause and ask ourselves, why did we begin this journey? What's the bigger picture? When we remember our purpose, we renew our drive, and suddenly the challenges don't seem so insurmountable. We're reminded that the work we're doing matters, and that makes all the difference. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the constant motion of our daily lives. We move from one task to the next, always feeling the pressure to do more, to move faster, to accomplish as much as possible. But in that rush, we often lose sight of the importance of pausing. The power of pause lies in its ability to create space for reflection, recalibration, and realignment. When we stop and take a moment to pause, we allow ourselves to step out of the whirlwind of activity and take a breath. It's in this stillness that we can clear our minds and regain perspective. The pause gives us the opportunity to assess where we are, to recognize if we are still on the path we intended or if we have veered off course. It's only in this moment of pause that we can fully understand what's working and what needs to be adjusted. Too often we keep pushing forward because we feel that stopping will cause us to fall behind or lose momentum. But the truth is, a pause isn't a setback, it's a critical part of progress. It's an opportunity to assess our goals, reframe our thinking, and make sure our actions are aligned with our true intentions. Without that moment to reset, we risk continuing down a path that no longer serves us, or worse, pushing ourselves toward burnout. Taking time to pause also enables us to practice mindfulness. It's so easy to get consumed by the day-to-day tasks that we forget to check in with ourselves. Pausing allows us to be present, to understand our emotions, our mental state, and our energy levels. It's a chance to evaluate whether we are moving with purpose or if we're simply reacting to external pressures. The power of pause also opens the door for creativity. In a world that demands constant productivity, we often don't give ourselves the space to think deeply or innovatively, but when we allow ourselves to step away from the rush, we can tap into new ideas, new perspectives, and fresh solutions. Sometimes the best ideas come when we stop trying to force them and instead let our minds wander and reflect. Moreover, pausing allows us to honor the importance of rest. We're not machines. We are human beings who require time to recharge. Without rest, we become less effective, less creative, and less engaged in what we do. The pause, whether it's a few minutes in the middle of the day or a more extended period away from work, helps us replenish our energy so we can return with renewed focus and vigor. In moments of uncertainty, the pause becomes even more powerful. When things feel unclear or overwhelming, taking a step back provides us with the mental space to gain clarity. It's in the pause that we can discern our next steps, weigh our options, and make more thoughtful decisions. Rather than reacting impulsively to a situation, we give ourselves the opportunity to respond with intention and understanding. The power of pause lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require elaborate planning or special tools. It's available to us at any time, anywhere. It's an act of mindfulness that can be as short as a deep breath or as long as a weekend retreat. Regardless of the length, the act of pausing serves as a powerful reset, a chance to come back to ourselves and refocus on what truly matters. Change is an inevitable force that shapes every aspect of our lives. It's a constant presence whether we seek it or not, and it can come in many forms. Unexpected challenges, shifts in circumstances, evolving goals, or even the passing of time itself. The key to navigating change is adaptability. Without the ability to adapt, change becomes something we resist or fear rather than something we can embrace and learn from. The nature of change is that it doesn't always announce itself with a clear agenda. It often arrives quietly, like a shift in the winds, and before we know it, the world around us is different. We may find ourselves in unfamiliar situations or facing problems we've never encountered before. In these moments, the instinct for many is to cling to what is familiar, to stay in the comfort of what we know. To stay in the comfort of what we know, but this approach often limits our growth. Adaptability is not just about changing our actions or strategies, it's about adjusting our mindset too. To adapt, we first have to let go of the need for control. We often find ourselves in situations where the outcome is uncertain, and that lack of control can be uncomfortable. But adaptability is about releasing the fear of the unknown and accepting that we can't always control everything around us. It's about learning to work with the changing circumstances even when they're not ideal and finding new ways to move forward. Change can also bring feelings of insecurity or doubt. We're often reluctant to move forward because the newness of a situation makes us question whether we're capable. But adaptability is about trusting in our ability to learn and grow, even when we don't have all the answers. It's about finding strength in the discomfort, knowing that it is through the challenge that we gain new skills, broaden our perspectives, and develop resilience. Adapting to change requires a level of flexibility that allows us to pivot when necessary. It's not about rigidly sticking to a plan despite external shifts, but instead about recognizing when the plan needs to evolve. In moments of change, we may need to reassess our goals or alter our approach in order to continue moving forward. The ability to change course when the circumstances require it isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of wisdom. It means that we're engaged with the world around us and open to finding the best possible solution for any given situation. One of the greatest strengths of adaptability is that it opens us to innovation. Change often brings with it the opportunity to rethink how things are done. Whether it's a new technology, a new way of thinking, or a fresh approach to a familiar problem, adaptability allows us to explore new avenues that we may not have considered before. Rather than resisting new methods, we can leverage them to improve ourselves and our work. This process of constant adaptation fosters creativity and drives progress, ensuring that we're not left behind by the rapid pace of change. Change is also an opportunity to deepen our connection with others. As we navigate through the uncertainties that come with change, we realize that we are not alone in our experiences. We're surrounded by people who are also adapting to their circumstances. This shared journey can bring us closer, creating a sense of unity and collaboration. When we are open to adapting, we are more likely to listen, learn, and support those around us, ultimately strengthening our relationships. The ability to adapt is one of the most vital tools for long-term success. The world is in a constant state of flux, and those who resist change will inevitably be left behind. But those who learn to adapt will not only survive, they will thrive. Adaptability is what allows us to face the unknown with confidence, knowing that no matter what challenges arise, we have the capacity to adjust, learn, and grow. It's not just about managing change, it's about embracing it and using it to propel ourselves forward. In the pursuit of success, we often focus on making huge leaps or drastic changes. We believe that only through monumental shifts can we achieve significant results. However, the truth is that the most profound transformations often come from small, consistent changes. These small shifts, when done intentionally, have the power to accumulate and build over time, leading to remarkable outcomes that we may never have anticipated. It's easy to become disheartened when we think about the larger picture and the distance we need to cover to reach our goals. We look at where we are and see only the gap between where we are and where we want to be. This can make the journey feel overwhelming, as if the only way to make a meaningful difference is to take bold, drastic actions. But the reality is, it's the small, everyday choices that gradually move us in the right direction. These small shifts are like stepping stones, each one taking us a little bit further toward our ultimate goal. The key to success is in recognizing that change doesn't have to be extreme to be impactful. It can be as simple as adjusting our daily habits, changing our mindset, or improving the way we approach tasks. The difference doesn't always have to be dramatic. Sometimes the act of showing up consistently, even in small ways, creates momentum that propels us forward. It's the accumulation of these small actions that leads to growth, improvement, and eventually big results. We often underestimate the power of incremental progress. Small shifts may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound in ways that create lasting change. Think about learning a new skill. At first, the progress feels slow, and we might even question whether the effort is worth it. But with each practice session, we gain a little more understanding, a little more proficiency. These tiny steps add up, and eventually we look back and realize how far we've come. This principle applies not just to personal growth, but to the work we do, the relationships we build, and the goals we set. In the workplace, a slight adjustment in how we manage our time or communicate with others can improve productivity and build stronger connections. In relationships, small acts of kindness or moments of understanding can deepen bonds over time. Even in business, small tweaks to a process or a product can lead to substantial improvements in customer satisfaction or performance. The key is consistency. Making those small adjustments day after day, knowing that they will eventually create a larger shift. When we focus on small shifts, we also learn the value of patience. Change doesn't happen overnight, and big results don't come instantly. But by committing to small actions, we embrace the idea that the journey is just as important as the destination. Progress isn't always visible at first, but with time, those small actions become the building blocks for something much larger than we might have imagined. Furthermore, small shifts allow us to remain adaptable and flexible. We don't need to make huge, irreversible changes to see growth. Instead, we can experiment with different approaches, learn from our experiences, and adjust as we go. This incremental approach helps us avoid the overwhelm that often comes with thinking that we need to make sweeping changes to improve. Each small shift offers a chance for reflection and refinement, ensuring that we are continuously moving in the right direction. In essence, small shifts have the power to create big results, but only if we are willing to take consistent, intentional steps toward our goals. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is reserved for those who make bold, dramatic moves. But in reality, it's the steady, persistent effort, the daily shifts, that lead to sustainable change and lasting success. In life, we often find ourselves faced with situations that feel beyond our control. External circumstances, unpredictable events, and the actions of others can sometimes overwhelm us, leaving us feeling helpless or frustrated. The truth is, we can't control everything, and accepting this reality is a critical step in finding peace and empowerment. However, while we cannot control external forces, we always have control over how we respond to them. The ability to focus on what we can control is one of the most powerful tools we possess, and it can transform our approach to life's challenges. When we focus on what we can control, we reclaim our power. The things we can control are often the internal factors, the way we think, the way we react, and the choices we make. While we cannot dictate the actions of others or prevent unforeseen challenges from arising, we have complete control over how we approach these situations. The mindset we cultivate, the attitude we bring, and the energy we put into our actions are all within our control. Everything is exerted upon you normally if you seek to control it. Everything in your life is exerted upon you unnormally. By recognizing this, we empower ourselves to act with intention and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. One of the most significant things we can control is our perspective. How we choose to interpret situations can have a profound impact on our emotional state and our ability to cope with adversity. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into a negative mindset, to dwell on what went wrong, or to feel frustrated with what's beyond our reach. But by shifting our perspective, we can find opportunities for growth and learning in even the most difficult circumstances. We control the narrative we tell ourselves about what is happening around us. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, we can choose to view them as lessons or stepping stones towards something better. Another aspect of control lies in our actions. We can't always dictate the outcome of our efforts, but we can control the effort itself. The way we show up every day, the actions we take, and the energy we invest all shape the course of our journey. Even in situations that feel uncertain or out of our hands, we can maintain focus on the steps we need to take to move forward. By committing to taking consistent, purposeful action, we align ourselves with our goals and allow ourselves to make progress, even when the road ahead seems unclear. Our response to stress and challenges is also within our control. Life will always have its ups and downs, but how we manage those moments, how we react in times of pressure, can make all the difference. When we are faced with stress or difficult situations, we have the ability to choose how we handle those emotions. We can either let them overwhelm us, or we can choose to approach them with calmness, patience, and a clear mind. Controlling our responses allows us to stay grounded and focused, ensuring that our emotions don't dictate our actions or lead us to make hasty decisions. Equally important is the control we have over our habits. Our daily routines, the small decisions we make, and the behaviors we repeat all contribute to our long-term outcomes. While we can't control the events that unfold in the world around us, we can control how we respond by cultivating habits that align with our values and goals. Whether it's prioritizing our health, staying organized, or investing in personal growth, the habits we form today shape the life we live tomorrow. Focusing on creating positive, productive habits puts us in a position to thrive, no matter the circumstances. We also have control over how we manage our time. Time is one of the most precious resources we have, and once it's spent, we can't get it back. By being mindful of how we use our time, we ensure that we are directing it toward the things that matter most. Time management is not just about getting more done. It's about making sure that what we do is aligned with our values and goals. By choosing where we spend our time, we control how much energy we invest in the things that truly matter, rather than being swept away by distractions or external demands. Ultimately, focusing on what we can control is about taking responsibility for our own lives. While we can't control everything, we have the power to make choices that shape our experiences. By focusing on the things we can influence, our mindset, our actions, our responses, our habits, and our time, we begin to see that we hold more power than we may have realized. The act of focusing on what we can control doesn't diminish the challenges we face. Instead, it empowers us to move through them with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Energy is one of the most valuable resources we possess, yet it's often something we overlook or take for granted. The energy we give to our work, our relationships, and our goals determines the quality of our experiences and the outcomes we achieve. However, not all energy is created equal. How we direct and manage our energy plays a critical role in shaping our lives. When we are intentional about our energy, we make conscious choices about where we focus our attention, what we invest in, and how we take care of ourselves. This intention doesn't just improve our productivity, it enhances our well-being and helps us lead more fulfilling lives. The first step in being intentional about our energy is recognizing that not all energy is positive or productive. We encounter different sources of energy every day, from the people we interact with to the tasks we engage in. Some of these sources fuel us while others drain us. When we are intentional about our energy, we become more aware of these forces and choose where to invest our time and attention. Whether it's choosing to surround ourselves with people who uplift and inspire us, or being mindful of activities that leave us feeling energized, we take control of what we allow to affect our energy. One of the most important aspects of managing our energy is recognizing that we cannot give from an empty well. If we are constantly pouring out energy without replenishing it, we will eventually burn out. This is why self-care is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Taking time to recharge, whether through rest, reflection, or activities that nourish us, is essential for sustaining our energy over the long term. And that, by being intentional about how we rest and restore ourselves, we ensure that we have the strength and clarity needed to give our best in all areas of life. Our mental energy is just as important as our physical energy. The way we think, the narratives we tell ourselves, and the emotions we allow to dominate our thoughts can either fuel or drain us. When we focus on negative thinking, stress, or limiting beliefs, we waste valuable mental energy. But by practicing mindfulness, shifting our mindset, and focusing on gratitude and growth, we direct our mental energy toward more positive and productive outcomes. This mental discipline allows us to approach challenges with a clear and optimistic mindset, making it easier to overcome obstacles and stay focused on our goals. Another way to be intentional about our energy is by choosing what we engage with. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with information, distractions, and external demands. It can be easy to get caught up in the noise, but when we are intentional about where we focus our attention, we begin to align our energy with our priorities. Whether it's choosing to focus on one task at a time instead of multitasking, or saying no to commitments that don't align with our values, being intentional about our energy means eliminating distractions that don't serve us and protecting our focus for the things that truly matter. Our energy also flows through our physical actions, the way we move our bodies, the things we do each day, and how we take care of our physical health all contribute to the energy we carry. When we prioritize exercise, healthy eating, and proper rest, we maintain a high level of physical energy that supports us in all aspects of life. On the other hand, neglecting our physical health can drain us, making it harder to focus, think clearly, or remain motivated. By being intentional about maintaining our physical energy, we enhance our capacity to pursue our goals and stay productive. Our emotional energy is equally important. The relationships we nurture, the environment we create, and the boundaries we set all play a role in the emotional energy we experience. Being intentional about our energy means understanding that we don't have to engage in every conflict or satisfy every demand placed on us. By setting healthy emotional boundaries and choosing relationships that bring us joy and support, we preserve our emotional energy for the people and things that truly matter. It's about being mindful of the emotional investments we make and ensuring that we're not allowing negative or draining situations to rob us of our vitality. When we are intentional about our energy, we create space for alignment. Every action we take, every decision we make, and every interaction we engage in either strengthens or weakens our energy. When we act in alignment with our values, passions, and purpose, we feel more energized and focused. But when we are out of alignment, when we force ourselves to do things that don't resonate with who we truly are, we feel depleted. Intentional energy management requires us to continuously check in with ourselves, assess how we feel, and adjust accordingly. It's about being conscious of where our energy is going and making sure that it's being directed toward things that align with our true intentions. Ultimately, being intentional about our energy is about taking ownership of how we show up in the world. Every day presents us with the opportunity to decide where we invest our energy and how we manage it. Whether it's our physical, mental, or emotional energy, when we are deliberate in how we direct it, we become more effective, more focused, and more connected to our purpose. This intentionality transforms the way we experience life, enabling us to give our best while also preserving the energy we need to thrive. Clarity is something many of us search for, especially when we feel uncertain or overwhelmed. We often think that clarity comes first, that we need to have a clear understanding of our path, our goals, or our purpose before we take any action. However, the truth is that clarity is not something we find by waiting or overanalyzing. It's something that is discovered through action. When we take steps forward, even if they're small, we begin to see things more clearly. Action is the bridge that turns confusion into understanding and uncertainty into direction. When we sit idle, waiting for clarity to strike, we remain trapped in a cycle of indecision. We become paralyzed by the need to know exactly what to do or how to do it before we make any move. But in reality, the process of moving forward, even with a lack of complete information, allows us to gather the insights and experiences we need to sharpen our vision. Each step we take, no matter how tentative, brings us closer to a clearer understanding of what works and what doesn't. The answers often come not from thinking things through endlessly, but from acting and learning from what unfolds along the way. It's easy to feel stuck when we're overwhelmed by the vastness of our goals or the complexity of the challenges ahead. But the simple act of beginning, of taking even a small step, can create momentum and help us break free from the inertia that holds us back. As we start moving, we may not immediately know the exact outcome, but the experience of engaging with the task, the process, or the goal provides us with the feedback and the adjustments we need. Clarity comes not from overthinking, but from stepping into the process and adjusting along the way. The act of taking action is also an invitation to experimentation. We don't have to know everything or have the perfect plan to begin. Instead, we can approach challenges with the mindset of trying, testing, and learning. When we take action, we give ourselves the space to experiment with different approaches, solutions, and strategies. Through these experiments, we start to see patterns, identify what resonates, and make decisions that feel more aligned with our goals. This iterative process is how clarity is built. The more we try, the more we learn, and the clearer our direction becomes. In many cases, we may feel hesitant to take action because of fear of making the wrong choice, fear of failure, or fear of wasting time. But in reality, action is how we minimize these fears. The more we engage with our goals through action, the more confident we become in our decisions. Each step forward provides us with the confidence that we are capable of navigating uncertainty, and with every challenge we overcome, we realize that we are more adaptable and resourceful than we once thought. Clarity is also cultivated through a process of discovery. When we take action, we gain insight into our own preferences, values, and boundaries. As we test different ideas or approaches, we learn more about ourselves, what we truly want, what motivates us, and what feels right. This self-awareness is an essential part of the clarity process. The more we act, the more we discover what works for us and what doesn't, which in turn helps us make more informed decisions as we continue to move forward. Moreover, action helps us confront fear and doubt. When we remain stagnant, our fears are amplified and our doubts grow larger in our minds. But when we take action, we reduce the space in which fear can thrive. Even if we don't have all the answers or the ideal outcome, action allows us to face the unknown with courage and resilience. It's through facing the discomfort of the unknown that we learn to trust ourselves, which gradually leads to more clarity and confidence in our decisions. Sometimes clarity also comes from the process of taking action and adjusting our course. We may find that what we thought was the right path isn't actually the best one, and that's okay. The key is to remain flexible and open to change. When we take action, we create the opportunity to pivot, refine our approach, and shift our course if necessary. The process of refinement, made possible by action, helps us uncover the best possible path forward, often leading to a deeper understanding of our goals and our purpose. In the end, clarity is not a destination that we arrive at by simply thinking or waiting for the perfect moment. It's a result of the courage to take action, to move through uncertainty, and to learn from the experiences along the way. As we continue to act, we uncover more about what is right for us, refining our course and gaining the clarity we seek. The more we act with intention, the more we see how each step, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. Action is the key to clarity. Through it, we turn uncertainty into direction, confusion into understanding, and dreams into reality. Reflection is a powerful tool that often goes underappreciated in our fast-paced, goal-oriented world. We are encouraged to keep moving forward, to look ahead, and to focus on what's next. However, reflection holds the key to unlocking deeper understanding, personal growth, and clarity. It is through the act of pausing and looking back that we can truly comprehend how far we've come, what we've learned, and what changes we need to make. Reflection allows us to step outside of the rush and chaos, giving us the opportunity to process our experiences, assess our actions, and align ourselves with our true values and goals. When we take time to reflect, we create a space for introspection. Reflection enables us to make sense of the events in our lives, both the successes and the challenges. In those quiet moments, we can examine what worked, what didn't, and why. Instead of merely moving from one task to the next, we gain insight into our decisions, our behavior, and our reactions. This awareness allows us to make better, more informed choices in the future, preventing us from repeating the same mistakes or falling into patterns that no longer serve us. Reflection also helps us cultivate gratitude. When we pause to look back, we often realize how much we've accomplished, how many lessons we've learned, and how far we've come, even in the face of obstacles. This practice of looking back with appreciation for what we've gained, whether tangible or intangible, allows us to shift our perspective from what we lack to what we've already achieved. It reminds us that growth is not always about reaching a specific destination, but about the incremental progress we make along the way. Through reflection, we can gain clarity. It is easy to become caught up in the noise of everyday life, constantly reacting to events, deadlines, and pressures. But when we make the time to reflect, we separate ourselves from that noise and reconnect with our deeper purpose. Reflection allows us to take a step back and evaluate whether we are on the right path, whether our actions align with our long-term goals, and whether we are living authentically. By reflecting on our experiences, we are able to recalibrate, ensuring that we are moving in the direction that aligns with who we are and what we truly want. In reflection, we find an opportunity for self-discovery. Often, we are so focused on external expectations and the demands of others that we lose sight of our inner desires and values. Reflection gives us the space to reconnect with ourselves. It allows us to explore our motivations, to question what drives us, and to discover what truly matters. When we reflect deeply, we tap into our intuition and inner wisdom, uncovering insights that can guide us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Moreover, reflection is a tool for emotional healing. Life's challenges can leave emotional scars, and without reflection, these emotions may remain unresolved, affecting our well-being. By taking the time to process and understand our emotional experiences, we can release the pain, learn from it, and move forward with a sense of peace. Reflection allows us to make sense of our feelings, understand their source, and release the emotional charge they may hold over us. This practice of emotional self-care helps us grow, heal, and become more resilient. Reflection also encourages mindfulness and presence. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of the present moment. When we take time to reflect, we train ourselves to slow down, to be present with our thoughts and feelings, and to observe the flow of life without judgment. This mindfulness allows us to appreciate the richness of the present, to fully engage with the experiences we are having, and to savor the journey instead of constantly rushing toward the next milestone. In addition to these personal benefits, reflection can help us improve our relationships. By reflecting on our interactions with others, we can gain insight into how we communicate, the impact of our words and actions, and the ways in which we can be more empathetic and understanding. Reflection gives us the chance to assess the dynamics of our relationships and make changes to strengthen them. It allows us to see where we may have misunderstood someone or where we could have shown more kindness or patience. This self-awareness fosters deeper, more authentic connections with those around us. Reflection is also a powerful tool for innovation. When we reflect on past experiences, we open ourselves to new ideas and possibilities. Often, our best insights come from revisiting situations with fresh eyes, considering how we could have done things differently, or thinking creatively about how to approach future challenges. Reflection allows us to tap into our creativity and come up with innovative solutions that might not have been apparent in the midst of the action. By taking time to think about our past experiences, we spark new ideas and find ways to improve and evolve. The process of reflection does not require perfection. It is not about critiquing ourselves harshly or wishing things had gone differently. Instead, reflection is an act of self-compassion, of accepting where we are and where we've been, and of understanding that every experience, whether successful or difficult, holds value. Reflection allows us to acknowledge both our achievements and our missteps, recognizing that both contribute to the person we are becoming. In the end, reflection is not just a passive activity, it's an active, transformative process. It provides us with the insights, clarity, and wisdom needed to live with intention, to learn from our experiences, and to move forward with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through reflection, we gain the perspective we need to navigate life with purpose, authenticity, and resilience. Commitment to consistency is one of the most powerful practices that we can adopt in our personal and professional lives. It is not about sporadic bursts of effort or fleeting motivation, but about showing up day after day, regardless of the circumstances. Consistency is the backbone of progress and achievement, and without it, even the most well-intentioned goals can slip through the cracks. It is the quiet force that drives success and growth, often unnoticed but deeply impactful. When we commit to consistency, we make a pledge to ourselves to stay dedicated to our goals, even when the excitement fades or obstacles arise. At the heart of consistency is the ability to stay focused on the long-term vision. It's easy to get caught up in the immediate results or instant gratification that comes from achieving short-term goals. However, true success is not defined by one-time victories or momentary triumphs, but by the sustained effort and persistence that is required to reach greater heights. Consistency ensures that we continue to take steps, no matter how small, toward our desired outcome. It's about embracing the journey and understanding that progress is often incremental, built over time with small, consistent actions. Consistency also fosters discipline. It is not enough to simply want something or have the motivation to achieve it. Commitment to consistency means making choices that align with our goals, even when it's not easy or convenient. It requires us to prioritize our objectives over distractions and instant pleasures. In this way, consistency cultivates self-discipline, teaching us to stick to our commitments, to follow through with the work that needs to be done, and to stay the course even when it feels challenging. Discipline, built through consistent actions, is what allows us to stay on track, even when external factors or internal doubts tempt us to veer off the path. Another aspect of commitment to consistency is the creation of habits. Success is often a result of habits that we cultivate over time rather than sporadic efforts. When we consistently perform a particular action, it eventually becomes a habit, a part of our daily routine. These habits compound over time, creating momentum that propels us forward even when motivation wanes. When our systems change over time, whether it's exercising every morning, dedicating time to reading or learning, or committing to a specific work routine, the repetition of these actions creates a foundation for success. Habits formed through consistency become the framework upon which we build our future, shaping who we are and what we accomplish. There is also a profound sense of self-respect that comes with committing to consistency. Every time we follow through on our word and take action, we reinforce our own belief in our capabilities. By staying consistent, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of achieving our goals and overcoming challenges. It is this steady reliability, this ability to count on ourselves, that fosters a deeper sense of self-esteem and confidence. When we commit to being consistent, we show up for ourselves, and in doing so, we develop a stronger relationship with ourselves. This trust in our ability to deliver on our commitments is empowering and creates a positive cycle of growth and accomplishment. Consistency also helps us build resilience. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. However, by committing to consistent action, we build the mental and emotional strength to persevere through difficulties. Consistency teaches us to keep going even when the going gets tough, to show up even when we don't feel like it, and to take the next step even when we face uncertainty. Over time, we learn that challenges are not barriers, but opportunities to strengthen our resolve. The practice of consistency helps us remain steady and composed even when circumstances test our commitment. One of the often overlooked benefits of consistency is its ability to generate momentum. Small, consistent actions, when performed over time, create a snowball effect. What may begin as a tiny effort gradually builds into something far greater. Each time we repeat an action, we move a little closer to our goal, and with each success, we gain more confidence and motivation. This momentum makes it easier to continue even when the road gets tough. It's the power of small wins that over time add up to significant results. Momentum fueled by consistency propels us toward our goals with greater ease and less resistance. Consistency also allows us to measure progress more effectively. When we commit to regular action, it becomes easier to track the incremental improvements we make along the way. Each effort compounds upon the last, and over time, the results become more visible. In contrast, when we sporadically engage in tasks or goals, progress is often difficult to gauge, and we can become discouraged or uncertain. Consistency provides us with clear markers of growth and achievement, allowing us to assess where we are in relation to where we want to be. And additionally, the commitment to consistency helps us develop patience. In today's world where instant results are often expected, consistency teaches us that success doesn't happen overnight. The true value of persistence lies in the ability to keep moving forward even when we don't see immediate rewards. When we commit to consistent effort, we learn to trust the process and to have faith that the cumulative effect of our actions will lead to meaningful results. This patience, developed through steady effort, becomes a cornerstone of long-term success. Finally, the power of consistency is not just in the actions we take, but in the mindset we develop. By choosing consistency, we train our minds to focus on the long term, to disregard fleeting distractions, and to maintain our focus even when challenges arise. This mindset shift is crucial for achieving sustained success in any area of life. It requires us to stop looking for shortcuts and instead embrace the gradual but steady process of progress. Committing to consistency is an act of faith in ourselves and in the process. It is not always easy, but the rewards are profound. It transforms us from someone who dreams of success into someone who actively works toward it. It helps us develop discipline, resilience, and trust in our own abilities. And ultimately, it turns our vision into reality, one consistent step at a time. In conclusion, the journey toward success, growth, and fulfillment is not a matter of sudden leaps, but of consistent, deliberate steps. As we reflect on the power of clarity, the value of commitment to action, and the resilience that comes from reflection, we recognize that progress is not only built through individual moments of brilliance, but through the steady, consistent choices we make every day. The key is not to wait for perfection or the perfect moment, but to embrace the process, to act, and to reflect, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a part of the larger picture we are creating. By embracing consistency, pausing for reflection, and committing to action, we empower ourselves to turn uncertainty into clarity and challenges into opportunities. It's through these ongoing practices that we shape our path, stay aligned with our purpose, and build a future that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. The journey may not always be easy, but it is through these steady, intentional efforts that we create lasting change, not just in what we achieve, but in who we become along the way. So let us commit today, not just to our goals, but to the process of becoming, with the confidence that every small, consistent action will lead to extraordinary results.